Hi everyone, Joe Guzzo here, and you're watching Folk Project Television. And one of the things that I'm going to have to talk to you about today is the fact that we have a lot of new acts coming on the show. We're going to be doing interviews, listening to some of their music, and a lot of this is music you probably haven't heard before because they're going to be posted on new albums by those artists. So hang around. By the end of the show, I will have disclosed at least a couple of the names that are coming up and probably the dates on which they will appear. Before we begin that, however, what I'd like to do is to give Mike Agranoff a few seconds to talk about the Troubadour.
Well, it's been, 16 months since the Troubadour shut down, something like that. And we are going to reopen. Yay. The Troubadour Acoustic Concert Series has been run by the Folk Project continually almost and weekly almost since 1975. And we shut down in March of 2020 because of COVID. And I came to the conclusion that we would reopen when the CDC and the New Jersey Department of Health thought it safe to have an event with full attendance and no masks. And then I also added my own little proviso that all people attending be vaccinated. And that is going to happen on September 3rd of this year, 2 months from now, August, September, July, August, 3 months from now. And we will be opening with a full schedule, weekly schedule, as we were before we shut down. For those of you not familiar with the Troubadour, it's a Friday night concert series, happens every week at the Morristown Unitarian Fellowship in Morristown, New Jersey. The information can be found at troubadour.folkproject.org as for our schedule. And we will be reopening on September 3rd. The concert series that was to become the Troubadour held its first concert on July 25th, 1975. And I know that because I paid my dollar and attended that show on my 30th birthday. And 2 years later, I was booking it. In that time, we have seen 3, 4 name changes, 5 or 6 venue changes, and 1 change in the organization that actually ran it. When it opened, in 1975, it was run by an organization called Project 21, which sort of fell apart a couple of years later and was then taken over by what's now the Folk Project. The original venue was a building in Chester called Black River Artisans, which was held in an 18th century inn building that's now sort of condemned or at least not occupied. Since it went from there to the Mendham Youth Center, and from there to the Morris County Cultural Center. In the process, it changed its name from the original Good Though, which was the punchline of a very obscure joke by Utah Phillips, to the Minstrel Show Coffee House, then shortened to the Minstrel Show because Coffee House was could have been confused with Starbucks type places that had music also. We had music and coffee also. And from there, we shortened it to the lengthened it to the Minstrel Acoustic Concert Series because of the unwanted references to the turn of the 20th century's minstrel show entertainments, which were often characterized by blackface entertainers, which we didn't want to be associated with. And then much more recently, when even the word minstrel started showing up with references to blackface entertainments when entered in Google, we changed it to the Troubadour Acoustic Concert Series, which is its current name. Its current location at the Morristown Unitarian Fellowship. We've been there since 2005. It's a wonderful, wonderful venue. For those of you who haven't been there, it's a very intimate 200-seat audience with only 10 rows of seating. It's wide and not very deep, so everyone is close to the stage. It's got a wonderful, wonderful full stage with piano and a great built-in sound system. And starting in September, we will also be video casting while live streaming most of our concerts. We are currently rebuilding the Folk Project's website, and the new calendar will indicate which shows won't be webcast. You can buy advance tickets, or you will be able to buy advance tickets once we got that website set up. It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
Now, this is our July 4th show. And in celebration, I want to introduce you to a relatively new artist, star of screen and stage. Her name is Miss Gianna Harris. And Gianna's been around for, believe it or not, about 6 years now from her first performance till today. And she's only 16 years old today. So I think it's a very exciting thing that we have her on the show. And why don't we just get it started? Here's Miss Gianna Harris. Hi, Gianna. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
No, I'm very, very happy to have you, and we'll let people know exactly why I'm so happy a little later on. But for now, how are you feeling? How's everything going?
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. How are you?
I can't complain. Talking to a young lady who has done very, very great things in a very short period of time. And let me ask you a question about your name. Now, I know that you sign autographs using Gigi, and people have called you Gigi. Which do you prefer, Gigi or Gianna?
There's been a progression throughout my name. I've gone from Gianna to Gigi, and now I mostly use G, spelled G-I. But I would prefer G. I prefer G.
Okay, that's cool. I'm still going to call you Gianna.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to be careful with the GI, however, because that's also G.
Yeah, we've come across that problem.
Now, our viewers are going to find out very quickly that you have been singing since a very young person. How old were you when you first started?
When I first started training and practicing, I was 9, but first like singing and like really enjoying it and singing on my own, I started at like 7.
And what about your first public singing? And what was it?
I think I was 10, and it was at the Apollo. It was like probably my first like big thing that I ever did.
Mm-hmm. So tell me, how much of an ovation did you get?
I didn't know how to, I was so nervous, and I was nervous people weren't going to like it, and I was super nervous, but I mean, people loved it, and it boosted my confidence in my singing ability.
Now, I heard a story, someone told me, I think it might have been you actually, about at the end of one of your songs, at the Apollo, as you ended your song, you brought your arms up. And almost like magic, everybody got on their feet and applauded you. That's a standing ovation, young lady.
Yeah.
You don't forget to tell people about that. That's a pretty cool thing.
Yeah. It was a great experience to see everyone kind of follow with me and really enjoy my singing and give me the recognition that I was doing good.
And I believe you came in first place on the very, very first time you tried the Apollo stage.
Yeah, I did.
That was very cool. Um, Now, so far, I haven't talked to you about your most significant breakout role. So why don't you tell our viewers about that?
When I was 11, I booked playing the role of Chanel in the Broadway musical School of Rock by Andrew Lloyd Webber. I played Chanel for a year and a half on Broadway, and I understudied Tamika.
And eventually, did you get Tamika?
I did get Tamika on the tour of School of Rock. They had transferred me over to the first national tour, and where I played Tamika for 6 months.
Now, anyone who has seen that play probably did see you on Broadway because I guess most of the run you were actually there on the Broadway stage.
Yeah.
After you left, wasn't much longer that it actually stayed in the theater. So it was either catching you live at the that was the Winter Garden, or catching you on the national tour, which
Yeah.
had you in many different locations over the course of was it about 6 months, right?
Yeah.
Now, what was it like to work a full-time job on Broadway?
It didn't feel like a job. If you ask like anyone that has, especially kids that have been on Broadway, they'll tell you like it's not a job. Like it's fun and we enjoy it, and it's just hanging out with your friends and doing what you love. But I didn't realize that it was a job until like later on. I was like, oh wait, like I'm actually like working and getting paid for this, even though it doesn't feel like that. It's just I get to sing and dance on stage with all my best friends.
Yeah, no, I've got a few photographs that I'm going to show during the course of our conversation of you out there on the Broadway stage, and I have in front of me here a souvenir book with signatures from all of the people you worked with at the time. And I'm going to be showing some of those photos as well. And what do you think about the tour, the national tour?
I love touring. I loved it so much. It was a great experience. It showed me the world and it showed me other people, and it gave me a lot of good learning and life experiences. Um, and the people that were on the tour with me, like they're my family because we lived together for 6 months, and we traveled and performed together for 6 months. So they're my family. I If I could tour again with them, I in a heartbeat I would. It was such a great experience, and I'm super thankful for it.
Well, it sounds like a wonderful experience for any young person to have, and probably for anyone of any age.
Yeah, totally. I got to see so many cool places.
And what about people? And did you meet any interesting people or star type personalities? And do any of those meetings stand out in your mind?
When went to Chicago, we were in Chicago for 4 weeks. I think it was 4 weeks. We were there for it was the longest we had been somewhere because usually you'll stay for like a week. You're lucky if you get 2 weeks in one place.
Hmm.
So I think we stayed in Chicago for like 3-4 weeks, and that was the longest we had ever been somewhere. And so that meant we got to see the city more, and we got to see musicals in Chicago because there's it's Broadway is not Broadway, but I guess Broadway in Chicago is pretty big. There's a lot of shows going on. Um, so we got to see Hamilton, and we met some really cool people. And Margaritaville had just started working, and they were in Chicago. And someone that I had worked with in School of Rock on Broadway was playing one of the leads in Margaritaville. So I got to see him there. So
Very
yeah.
cool. Very cool. Now, I have a song that I'm going to play for everyone that you recorded, I think, this year, in the last 12 months. And it is a cover of My Favorite Things. So before we get started, why don't you tell me about the concept, the idea? Who came up with the idea? Well, people are going to see what you're going to be doing, but who came up with that idea?
My mom was like, we should, I don't want to spoil it.
Well,
My
go
mom,
ahead. You
I
can
could spoil
spoil
it.
it.
Okay.
Sure.
My mom was like, it was snowing, and my mom was like, we should go outside and we should film the video outside. And I said, no, 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 we shouldn't do that. But we did anyway. So
Well, I'll tell you what, instead of just chatting about it, let's let everybody see what it looked like.
Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens, bright copper kettles and warm woolen mittens, brown paper packages tied up with string. These are a few of my favorite things. Favorite things. Cream-colored ponies and crisp apple strudels, doorbells and sleigh bells and schnitzel with noodles, bogies that fly with the moon on their wings. These are a few of my favorite things. Favorite things. Favorite things. Girls in white dresses with blue satin sashes, snowflakes that stay on my nose and eyelashes, silver white winters that melt into spring. These are a few of my favorite things. When the dog bites, when the bee stings, when I'm feeling sad, I simply remember my favorite things, and then I don't feel so bad, so bad, so bad, so bad. Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens, bright copper kettles and warm woolen mittens, cream-colored ponies and crisp apple strudels, doorbells and sleigh bells and schnitzel with
Now, I'm going to make a bet that you were freezing your little butt off.
I was. It was so cold. I remember I got back in the car, and like I was frozen. I couldn't move. It was, especially towards the end, it was getting real cold.
Yeah, it looked like the wind was blowing pretty good too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what sort of music inspires you?
All kinds of music. I've never put myself in one genre or listen to one thing. If I like something, I like it. And if I hear inspiration in it, I will try to create something similar but also my own. But I
Mhm.
don't think there's ever like one thing that ever gives me inspiration. I mean, it's all it could be a song. It sometimes it doesn't even have to be a song. It could be someone saying something, a quote.
Mhm.
mean, everything gives me inspiration.
What comes first for you, the song lyric or the melody, the tune?
It depends. I think for the best songs that I've ever written, I think usually the words come first, the lyrics, and then the music. But there are a few occasions where the music will come first, but usually the lyrics, because I'm a very, I don't know how to say this, like a wordy person. I like words. I like when things sound good, like sentences and like poems. I love poems, so I think the words usually come first.
Well, I got to ask you about your support, your support system that you have in place with your family. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, my family is so supportive. They've always been supportive. I mean, I couldn't have done any of this without them. Um, with bringing me to New York and traveling with me and providing me with the things that I need. Um, my grandfather actually he has a lot of credit because he performs. So um, he inspired me to do music, and I'm sitting here staring at his guitar that he gave me. So
He gave you a guitar, huh?
gave me a guitar. Yeah.
Oh. How about ukulele? Did he give you a ukulele?
He did also give me a ukulele.
And how would I know that?
Because you're him. I'm talking about you.
That's right. And one of the reasons that I wanted to have Gianna on the show and share her talents with the rest of the world is because of the tightness, the closeness that we've had since she was really small, and the same way I had with her mom, actually. And that watching her perform and watching her grow into the many things that she's learning to do, and every day I see improvements. Every time I see another performance, she just wows me. So I'm going to share some of those performances with you. Now, instead of talking about me, would you like to take another full-time role on Broadway if it came along for you?
I would. It's not my main focus, but I mean, I'll never stop auditioning for stuff on Broadway. Um, yeah, but if the opportunity was given to me, I'd take it. I'd take it.
Now, during my introduction of you, before you came on to this call, uh, I happened to mention that you were also a star of Screen. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your screen work?
Yeah, I've done one short film. It's called The O'Clocks. I really like The O'Clocks. It's a lot of fun. It's about this father and daughter duo, I guess. They're a duo. They're a cute little duo, and they can control time, hence the name O'Clocks. Um, and it goes through just like their relationship. And then
You mean
I
when you prank each other for like,
we prank each other that's the whole thing, is we prank each other with being able to control time. It's really, really cute.
did you ever get a cookie, by the way? People, I want you to try to find this and see if you can see this because it's really very cute, short. It's about
Yeah,
7 minutes.
there's a cute scene where my dad, Mr. O'Clock, is stealing my character's cookies. And actually, I did eat a lot of the cookies. I actually did eat a lot of the cookies. So,
And what else have you done?
actually, last year, Mighty Oak came out, and I play Oak, Scoggins' best friend, Emma, and um, it's about music and finding who you are and finding your real family. And it came out in July of last year, and I hope you guys would try to find it and watch it. It's actually a really, really good movie with some cool people in it.
Yeah, one of the things that you'll find, both the O'Clock and the O'Clock movie and the Mighty Oak movie, is that there are elements of fantasy and science fiction
Hmm.
in the movies. So in the the films. So you want to try to catch them if you enjoy that sort of thing. Both pretty lighthearted at times, both a little sad at times, but well, the one is a little sad at times, but I think you'll all enjoy it. So look for those two things. Um, you were tasked with learning how to surf for the Mighty Oak movie. Did you like surfing? Do you like surfing? And do you plan on continuing to do it?
I liked learning how to surf. It was actually really, really fun. They had, we had done the scenes originally, and they were like, no, we need you to actually surf, because they had done them like trying to cheat it, and it didn't really look right. So they wanted me to come back and learn how to surf. So I went back to San Diego for, I think, 2 weeks. And the first week was me preparing to learn how to surf. And I had a couple lessons. And it's so fun. It's so tiring though. I remember I would be surfing for like 2 to 4 hours every day, and then I get home and pass out. So it's a lot of fun, and I would like to continue surfing, but I don't know if Jersey's the best place to surf.
Yeah, we don't exactly have the best waves unless there's a hurricane out in the ocean, in
Yeah.
which case you don't want to be out there.
You don't want to be out there.
Uh, Outside of music and acting, do you have any other interests?
Yeah, I did gymnastics for. I'm I'm saying it like you don't know. I did gymnastics.
Well, they don't know, so you're
Oh.
telling everybody else. So that's all right.
I did gymnastics for 5 years, from the ages of 5 to 10. I did it competitively, and my team went to states a couple times. Um, I like to read. I like to write. Um, I mean, music is really like my hobby, though.
Okay, that makes it more fun. A hobby is always something you're doing out of joy rather than it's not work. I get it.
Yeah, I forgot. I just started. I joined the track team at my school, and I really, really enjoy it. So that's fun.
That's very cool. Now, with the pandemic, I know that you've been involved in music outside of theater or movies and stuff like that. You have done some um, band work with people from School of Rock, from just other people that have joined you and gone their separate ways since then. But uh, I know the pandemic stopped it pretty cold, and um, I know there were ways you were trying to keep music alive. Could you tell us about that show that you've done a few times?
Yes, I'm assuming you're talking about with my friend Joshua Turchin.
That's
Um,
correct.
Joshua's a really good friend of mine, and he's in within the Broadway community, and he has this show called The Early Night Show, and he was doing it before the pandemic at Green Room 42 in New York, but then he changed it to online, and he would do online concerts, and I had done a couple songs with him and some other people. And then in September of last year, he asked me if I wanted to do, he wrote a musical, and he was planning on working on it, but of course the pandemic stopped. And he had asked me to perform it with him in Connecticut at the Sharon Playhouse. And we got to perform it there. It was really fun. It was an outdoor event. It was actually really interesting because the people were in their cars, and they had to stay in their cars. And then we were on the stage performing, and like whenever we were done, we'd like put our masks on real quick, and we all had our own individual mics. It was really fun, and people would honk their horns instead of clapping and applauding us. They'd honk their horns, and I think it's really funny. And sometimes I'll look back at old videos and I'll forget that they would honk their horns, and I'll be like, "Wait, why is everyone honking?" And it's because they applauded. And then a couple months later, we got to do it in New York at a theater, and they filmed it, and they got people to watch. It was a really, really cool event, and we got to actually like stage a performance, and it was really, really fun. Of course, being COVID safe, everyone got tested, and when we weren't performing, we had our masks on. But yeah, that was I was really thankful that he had asked me to do that with him, because it gave me a chance to perform after being stuck at home for months.
I can see how that would be a real pleasure to get out and get mixed up again with the music. Now, you and I have had some wonderful conversations over the past few years, and one of them sticks out in my particular mind is when we were talking about some physics, and you came back. You talk to your friends about stuff you've learned in physics, and that is, you called me to find out if you were telling them the right thing.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of fascinating, and your friends must think you're such a nerd.
I think my friends were like, okay, Gianna, okay. They were like, we'll keep it.
Why is she telling us about the speed of light? Why is she talking to us about time dilation? Why is she? You already told us that you write songs, and I think that one of the things I'd like to do is to talk about the covers that you do as well as the songs you write. Now, you did a cover, another cover, and you did this quite a few years ago, wasn't? We're gonna hear the Gianna's version of House of the Rising Sun. When do you record that? Do you remember?
It was so long ago. I was probably 11 or 12. So like 4 or 5 years ago.
All right, so we're gonna see a much younger looking Gianna in this next clip. So why don't we go and watch it now?
There is a house in New Orleans. They call the rising sun, and it's been the ruin of many a poor boy. And God, I know I'm one. My mother was a tailor. She sewed the new blue jeans. My father
Well, that was an interesting variation on House of the Rising Sun. Usually it's sung by male voices, but I liked the way you did it. I'm sure everybody else will find it pretty fascinating as well. And let's get back to some of the stuff that you do. Now, the writing that you do is focused around quite a few different things of what I've heard so far. What's your favorite subject as far as putting it in your song? Is it social awareness? Is it personal awareness? Is it growth? Is it, love songs? Where do you usually go for your music?
I mean, I vary all over the place. I've written things about, social awareness and things going on. But I usually write songs about myself or like personal growth or just things that I can't seem to wrap my head around.
Mhm.
And the reason I write things like this is because sometimes like I get like word vomit and it just needs to come out and that's the way that it does. But also for other people to, that experience this, they have a way of knowing like, oh, she gets it. Like there's someone else that understands how I'm feeling or someone just gets me.
Now, I'm real excited for you. I understand that you have been working hard on a new song. You're going to be releasing it very soon, if not already. Why don't you tell us the name of the song and a little bit about it, and then we'll listen to it.
Yeah, it just came out on the 25th of June, and it's called Anger. It's about me. I get very angry sometimes, and I don't know why, and I'll get, mad at nothing. Honestly, I'll just be mad. It won't make any sense, and I've definitely put a lot of that anger on my friends and my family and just people that I love and need in my life. And I talk about, how I'm sorry that I get angry, and I talk about someone like I need help, someone to help me figure out a way not to get so angry all the time.
Yeah, well, it is a very mature thing to recognize that you do it. And why don't we listen to your song, and I'll let you know what I think.
Anger, fighting against my own judgment. I can't seem to focus on the things that really matter to me. Stuck in this perpetual state of fear that I'll hurt the only ones I need here. 'Cause I can't control when I raise my voice. Ends up being stupid, but I can't change my choice. Why am I
That's our
Thank you.
that's our not so little G, Gianna Harris.
I just want to thank you, Bob, and of course Debbie, for letting me do this. Been stuck inside for so long, haven't been able to perform. So
We
thank
appreciate
you
you
guys
coming
for giving
down.
me this opportunity.
What was it? What did
So G, I used the name the way you like it. Do you have anything special that you'd like to share with the viewers today?
Whenever I go on interviews, I try to always say this, and it is, you are enough and you always will be enough. And there's never reason that you won't be enough. Sometimes people need to be reminded that they don't have to try to be anyone else or try to please others. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you are just enough, and the people that see that will love you for you being yourself.
You're absolutely correct. One of the struggles many people have when they get relationships started is they try to change the other person, or they try to fit into what they think the other person wants and desires. Whenever you have that type of a relationship, it's always going to be very difficult.
Mhm.
And you have a relationship where you accept the person 100% for what they are.
Mhm.
They accept you 100% for what they are, for what you are. It really makes it a lot easier.
Mhm.
And great thought to leave our viewers. I appreciate you mentioning that. You may not realize it, but Carol and I, and for the viewers, Carol is my wife. I've talked about her on many shows. Carol and I feel exactly the same way, and we don't ask each other to change for any reason. We just love each other and unconditional.
Yes.
Now, where can people find out more about you and when you're going to be performing, if you're going to be performing, things like that? Do you have any websites or anything like that?
Yeah, I mostly use Instagram or Facebook, and my handles are the Gianna Harris. Yeah, but I think if you guys want to find any updates or anything, Instagram and Facebook.
Okay.
Find it.
All right, good. If I was a genie and I could grant you a wish, for what would you wish?
That's a big question. There's so many things. I would want everything to be normal again. Meaning with, the virus and everything going on. I think everyone needs it, and hopefully soon it will. But I would want you to grant me that this will go away and we can all live happy and healthy.
Yes, because we have not seen you or hugged you since Christmas
I know.
2019.
No.
So it's been far, far too long.
Yeah.
And we're looking forward to getting back together with the family and playing our songs together and singing together and doing the things that we used to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, Gianna, thank you so much for being on our show.
Thank you.
It was, as I said, it was a grandfather's pride to get you on here. But you hold your own with pretty much all the interviews I've ever seen you on. So, I expected and you gave the very best that my expectations were quite well met. So thanks very much for appearing. And I'll keep my audience informed should anything cool be happening in your life or in your career. And hopefully we can get together and see each other in person soon.
Yeah.
You take care and we'll talk again soon.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Love you, kid.
Love you too.
Well, I hope you enjoyed my chat with Gianna Harris. Now, we didn't discuss it during our interview time, but G is also an activist for racial equality and LGBTQ rights. Very smart kid and very proud of her. Glad that she's doing all these things. Well, That's all we have for today, folks. Be sure to tune in to our July 18th show when I bring you the talents of rustic writers, Klaus and Lisa Meissner. And over the next few months, I have interviews and music from quite a few people. Robert Bidney, Kevin Neidig, Abby Posner, and Victoria Vox. So be sure to look out for them. And as the heat of the summer rises, I hope you find ways to keep your cool. Be sure to stay well hydrated, very important in warmer weather. Stay indoors during the hottest parts of the day. And don't forget your daily dose of music. Look at our website for links and information on all our activities. That's folkproject.org. Now, 3 weekly workshops are also available, and there's activities for everyone. So be sure to check them out. And if you're not a Folk Project member, be sure to check out our website for how to become one. And remember that your membership helps support what we do. Until our next program, please be sure to stay safe. Despite what you hear, the pandemic's not over just yet. Until it is, let's err on the side of caution. Oh, and if you only remember one thing that I say, I hope it is to keep peace in your hearts. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Until then, take care.